Okay, Sunday didn't necessarily go as the plan for the Jaguars, but I was very encouraged with what I saw, their resilience. They fought back from multiple score leads multiple times throughout the game. So there was a little bit to be encouraged. So a lot of people think probably coming into Thursday night, this is going to be a cupcake game, against Miami. But the Dolphins, in their own right, if you're not familiar, I am actually a Dolphins fan, but I am the FTFN's Jacksonville Jaguars ambassador. I'm very unbiased. If you're not new to the channel, with a lot of my analysis, so don't worry about it. I think the Jaguars probably will win this game, but they shouldn't sleep on the Dolphins because they looked very good in that fourth quarter. They were just maybe 2 or 3 plays away from actually beating the Bills. You could say the same thing about the Jaguars and the Titans. So I think this game is a lot more interesting than what people are giving it credit. But before we get into all that, what's crack-a-lackin'? I'm your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Go ahead, leave whatever comments you want down below. I will be streaming during kickoff, so I'll be watching the game, the Thursday night game. But I'll be on Twitch at Broshmo Gaming, playing some NCAA 14. So come react with me while we watch the game, as well as I've been a little sick this week, so I'm not going to be able to get the starts and sits up this week. So if you're interested in that, you want some advice when it comes to this week, go ahead and show up at the stream, ask away, and I will not necessarily easily, but I help answer those questions. Or you could just leave it in the comment section below. I'll also put something on in my community tab to let y'all know that. But without further ado, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the offensive game plan for the Jaguars, because I think I did like that the Jaguars, they attacked the downfield a lot more than they did in their opener. They only threw one pass that went for 20 yards or more through the air. In the opener, they did that 5 times, and were actually pretty successful at that. But the run game looked really good, which I kind of anticipated. I thought if they could definitely get to the second level, then honestly Kenny Vaccaro was their only worry as far as who at the second level is really good at run defense. And James Robinson, he had a solid game. So I think they're going to continue to use the run game to keep the defense honest. But Minshew, he did make a few mental errors in this game that really cost his team. There was first that interception he threw to was it Christian Fulton? It was overthrown on his part to Keelan Cole, and it was a tough catch to make. It bounced off his hands right into Christian Fulton. There was that sack that went for like almost 20 yards. Just need to throw that ball away at that point. And then there was at the end when they were trying to drive, and he threw a pump fake, and when he did throw it, it got batted at the line, went right into Harold Landry's hands. So three that I could point out. And typically he's a very good decision maker. He's pretty mistake free. So there was just if he could cut down on be a better decision maker when it comes to, all right, let's not take the sack, let me just throw this ball away. And then I don't know why he decided to pump fake at the line like that, and he basically threw a dart right at the defensive lineman, batted right into the lap of Landry. So those are just little critiques. Overall, it was a very good game for this Jaguar offense. And if they're going to stay in this game with the Dolphins, because I know it's really easy to sleep on the Dolphins. They had a pretty strong end of the season last year, and then I thought they looked really good in the fourth quarter against the Bills. They're averaging 1 turnover per game. Their defense, as far as their offense, giving up a turnover per game. That's not true, actually. They had 1 turnover, I believe, in their first game, and then they had 0 against the Bills. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's playing mistake-free, so Gardner Minshew needs to. That was kind of the thing. They were playing from behind a lot, basically throughout that whole game against the Titans because of mental errors. I mean, they went down, I think early, I think it was 14-0. That multiple times they had to come back from a 14-point deficit, a 13-point deficit. Because you can't rely on that defense to make stops. So I would like to see Gardner Minshew kind of return to the season opener where he virtually made no mistakes. And I think this offensive line played actually really, really well against the Titans. I expect them to be even better against the Dolphins. They can't create pressure worth nothing, and they should be able to pick apart this defense. Two areas where the Jaguars they are actually very good at: red zone conversion. They've gone to the red zone 7 times and come away with 6 touchdowns, and then they also have the highest third down conversion rate at 62.5%. Of course, those numbers are unsustainable, but not necessarily this week against the Dolphins defense. What they really need to do is they need to continue to convert those, but they need to spread the wealth because this is a bad secondary for the Dolphins. And I could say that as a Dolphins truther, especially with Byron Jones out, because Noah Igbinoghene, that's the guy you need to key on and just destroy, because he was really bad when they moved him out to wide. He was not ready for that. He was put in a blender by Stephon Diggs. He ended up scoring 2 touchdowns. And shoot, even in the slot, Nick Needham, he allowed 133 yards alone against the Bills from the slot. Keelan Cole might be eating, dude. Laviska Shenault might be eating. DJ Chark, even if he doesn't play, I still think, Xavier Woods, he's allowed 111 yards the last 2 games and a touchdown. Through the first 2 weeks, he's not been that good either. So they need to take advantage of that. Honestly, the best player in their secondary right now, it might be Brandon Jones, with Byron Jones, of course, not playing. But he's mainly just guarding tight ends and running backs, and that's not where the majority of the wealth goes. It goes to these receivers. So, and then Jay Gruden loves getting the ball to different receivers. Even if Chark is out, Chris Conley is fine. So I expect this offense to be able to move, continue to convert, and take advantage, especially of a Dolphins pass rush that's non-existent. They should be able to eat the middle of the field with Keelan Cole or even Shenault, because they've had him run a variety of different routes from the outside, and I like that they're starting to move him around. He saw significantly more plays in the slot and actually in the backfield this past game, so it'll be really fun to see them how they utilize him. But I think at the end of the day, the defense, they just need to do enough, man. They just need to do enough. I always say, if this defense could keep the opposing team under 24 points, the Jaguars can win, because that offense is really that good. And they started looking a lot better down the stretch in that Tennessee Titan game, but they need to get more pressure. And I said this last week, they didn't really do it against the Titans. They need to bring extra rushers, because they're just not doing it. Josh Allen, he looked much better, but still he only provided 3 pressures. But they've been very successful when they bring an extra pass rusher, whether it be Miles Jack or Joe Schubert. And they've been very successful when they do that. The problem is they only did that 6 times the last game. I think you need to bring those guys in as an extra rusher, especially against this terrible offensive line for the Dolphins. It's bad. Austin Jackson is he's not ready. The moment's too big for him. They're just bad across the board. Solomon Kinley, he kind of came back down to earth Sunday. So I think they need to bring more pressure, especially blitz. Bring some, like the Ravens do this. They bring very exotic blitzes, Because Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 of his 3 interceptions have come when he is blitzed. So they need to be able to put pressure. Right now, Jacksonville, they are tied for second with the least pressures in the league through 2 weeks, and that's 16. Put that in retrospect, Washington, week 1, they had 31 pressures alone. Jaguars have 16 through 2 weeks. Granted, Washington's a very good defensive line, but I digress. So they need to be able to force, I would like to see, get at least 1 or 2 turnovers, because this young secondary, you can't rely on them to have to go out there and stick to a man for 5-6 seconds. Like the Patriots, they did a good job of that, but they have a phenomenal secondary. They didn't necessarily need to bring pressure. They could rely on those guys to play very good defense. That's not the same case here for the Jaguars. You need to bring pressure. Fitzpatrick, he's already Fitz magic. While he's got a pretty decent grade when being blitzed and under pressure, he is prone to mistakes. So I say go ahead, do that. The offense, it's very explosive. They should feast upon the carcass of the Dolphins. RIP my team. But the defense, they just need to keep this team under 24, which is very manageable. The Dolphins, they just scored 25 this past week. They scored 11 the week before. So I think they should be able to do it. I expect Jacksonville to go walk into Cincinnati next week being 2-1. But that's all I got for you. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Again, reiterate this. I'll be on Twitch later tonight. So come check me out. We could go watch the game, and we could talk about the game while you watch me try to lead Georgia State just to a winning season for once. Playing that NCAA 14, man. I'm loving it. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.